Knicks officially welcome back, as you saw, Tim Hardaway Jr. into the fold this afternoon. He sure was happy getting a 4-year, $71 million contract that no one truly thinks he deserves. It's now more clear than ever this was Steve Mills' grand plan to show James Dolan he should run the basketball side of things, as opposed to, say, David Griffin, the ex-Cavs GM who turned down the Knicks because he was not going to be given full autonomy to run the show. Once again, the Knicks are a mess, and once again, James Dolan has squandered his moment of goodwill. So are the Knicks, Sal, as big of a mess as they've ever been? And you know what? I don't think you can call them a mess. They're a joke. They are a joke. What do you think, Sal?
Jonas, I think you said it great right there.
Do you agree?
Here's the thing. I think this confirms what we already knew about the ineptitude of this franchise and the structure of the organization for counting, 17 years and counting now. When Phil came in, remember, the reason why most people were happy was because they figured the only reason he would come here, or the only way he would come here, is if he had full autonomy to make all the basketball decisions. Then the Knicks fans got all excited about the ouster of Phil, but you had to expect that Dolan was going to take over at some point, right, and bring in, his guys, and that's clearly what's happening. So until that changes, I think it's continued dysfunction at the world's most famous.
Does the word joke come to mind?
I think you've got the perfect word there. I mean, nobody likes a bad joke more than I do.
Seriously.
We know that on Twitter. Follow Pete on Twitter.
Exactly. But I mean, this is a bad joke to the
it's a mess
to the infinite degree. It's absurd now what's happened. Just when you think the Knicks can't slip any lower, it still might not be at the level of the Isaiah Thomas years, perhaps.
Good point, right.
Perhaps, but I mean, this summer's not over yet either. They haven't figured out what they're doing with Carmelo, who's going to be the GM, who's going to take this job in their right mind, other than somebody who just wants to cash out. If you have to take on their existing front office as part of your team and you don't get to bring in your own guys, why would anybody take it? I mean, good for David Griffin for turning it down.
It's a mess and a joke.
Well, the joke to me is that they finally had public sentiment on their side. They got rid of Phil, which everybody wanted, and you had a chance to start clean here, bring in somebody to run the show. And, of course, they screw it up because of the way they do things. I mean, Hardaway, to me, is a one-dimensional player. I mean, he's like Carmelo Light in some ways. So if they're both going to be here, now we'll see. Carmelo will probably be gone in some way. But that didn't make sense to me. And then you see when Griffin says he's bowing out because, he can't get autonomy or whatever, it's back to the same old thing. That's what's got to drive Knicks fans completely crazy. It's back to the same exact place they were before they brought Phil Jackson in.
Well, once again, that's the thing. You want to say James Dolan maybe learned. You want to believe that he can go forward and hire a basketball man and truly stay out of things. But what unfortunately makes this a mess and a joke is James Dolan continues to make the same mistakes and believe in the same cronies for no good reason other than they're yes men to him.
And the fans continue to make the same mistakes, buying into and hoping, as you said, Jonas, because I knew that this was going to happen. I mean, how do you not know that this was going to happen? Even when they fired Phil, you had Knicks fans going crazy. Oh, this is a great day. The Knicks are back. Please, if you pay attention to this team for 17 years and counting, you would have thought a joke because of Dolan.
You would have thought maybe they would learn something from everything they've been through, and obviously they didn't. I mean,
heck, even Tim Hardaway just said it came out of nowhere. The last place I expected to be. Yeah. $71 million.
There's only one word that sums this all up, gentlemen. What do you think it is?
Geez, Jonas, a mess or a joke?
Joke, I think.